What a burger!
You are listening to the Longhorn Podcast. The Longhorn Podcast.
End zone ahead, folks. Touchdown, Longhorns.
With Danny.
Who do you think gets laid more, Sam Ellinger or Shaver Show?
And Marcus.
More liberal media lies.
I'm a grown man. I eat a lot of steak.
You are listening to the Longhorn Podcast. The Longhorn Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Longhorn Podcast, the most popular Longhorn podcast on the face of the planet. Marcus, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Danny. Just enjoying. I'm switching up today. I'm enjoying a cold Coors Light. I'm out of Miller Lite, so just hanging out, ready for this.
Do you generally go Coors or Miller?
I'm a Miller guy. Personally, say what you will.
Is it crazy for me to say that I think Miller High Life is the best tasting light beer on the face of the planet?
I don't think that's crazy at all. In fact, one of my absolute favorite combos is a Miller High Life and like a Bullet Bourbon, but specifically Miller High Life. There's something really special there. It also makes me fart a lot, so there's that.
It makes you really get. What in the Miller High Life do you think makes you fart a lot?
I don't know, man. It's like Bud Light Platinum is the same way. Michelob Ultra is the same way. There's just a class of domestic light beers that I don't know what is going on, but clear the room.
Well, that's what it's like when I have a turkey sandwich. I am so happy about our new sponsorship, Marcus. You know that we're big fans of Lane Kiffin at the show.
I do know that. Friend of the show.
Lane has a new app. Marcus, can you let our fans know about the new app?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I mean, Lane came to us. It's kind of a, listen, I'll be honest. He's doing a bit of PR, as he does.
Yeah.
And we all know
we're getting paid for this.
But we all know that Lane has matured a lot. He said, you know what? I'm done with Tinder. And we were like, whoa,
yes.
Whoa.
Good for you, Lane.
He's finally doing it, folks. He's giving adulthood a shot. So his new app is, what's his new app called, Danny?
K-Date.
Also known as Kiffin Only. It's like Tinder, except for in that there are women. You can swipe tons of women based on your geographic area, and all they can see is their geographic proximity to Lane Kiffin. And the only person that they can swipe is Lane Kiffin. So it removes a lot of the riffraff and a lot of the choice, and I think it gives people such as Lane Kiffin better access to co-eds that might be going to the school he is coaching at.
And it's like,
I think it's a genius idea.
I think it's great. And it's like, know who you are. It's like, know who you are. It's like, if you can't be a one-woman man, be a one-man app,
Exactly. I want to get in on the ground floor of something that's worth my time and my money. And K-Date, for me, it's like if I was a woman, I don't, what am I getting? I want to know that I'm going to be on a boat having sex with Lane Kiffin. And this app provides that. Okay, cool. So outside of ads, Marcus, which we've been making a ton of money off of, what did you think about the Oscars?
I actually didn't watch the Oscars. I was in San Diego. We did not have cable. We were forced to stream The Bachelor. We had to do it. I guess that's what we had. That's what we had to do. So I didn't see the Oscars. Read a lot about him. Warren Beatty, man, you can't. He's blind with syphilis. He's just been around Hollywood one too many times. Maybe him and Faye Dunaway got it mixed up, backstage in the dressing room, and one thing leads to another. You grab the wrong envelope on the way out, and lo and behold, you really hurt Ryan Gosling's feelings, which nobody wants to see. But good for Moonlight. Good for Moonlight. I haven't seen that movie, but I hear it's great. It's supposed to be fantastic.
I think that you should just keep watching The Bachelor and skip it. Okay?
Cool.
No need. Warren Beatty, what a stallion. This guy, I think he's had sex with thousands of women. Do you wish you were Warren Beatty?
I mean, yeah. Have you seen Bulworth? Fantastic film.
Are we concerned about Warren Beatty?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think he's on the list of like, is this guy still alive? Like, he's on that list, whatever that list is. Like, hey, like, is Warren Beatty still alive? Like, let me Google that. Like he's like a Google away from being dead. So, yeah, I'm a little worried about him.
When I see him, I know that he's a beautiful man, but there are lots of other beautiful men, and I wonder why him. Why does he get to make love to so many beautiful women in Hollywood? What is it, Marcus?
I mean, it probably goes back to him being in the formative scene of New Hollywood and being an actor, director, producer, filmmaker, mogul, and just being, silver-tongued. He's a silver-tongued guy. Man, and he's had them all. He's had the best, he's had them all.
Yeah. We love silver-tongued guys over here, which brings me to Cedric Benson. There have been some accusations. There have been some things floating around that happened this weekend. Marcus, can you fill us in on what's going on with the UT legend?
So Cedric Benson gets pulled over and gets issued a sobriety test. He gets okay. So he's speeding. He gets pulled over. He leaves his car, tries to walk to a convenience store. Like, I don't know. They must not be pulling me over. I'm just here to get some donuts. So walks to the convenience store. Officers then try and give him a field sobriety test and didn't go so hot. Cedric Benson's like, listen, I can't get through the alphabet, specifically G through T, because I played 8 years in the NFL, right? So, the question today is, was Cedric Benson hammered, or is he just so CET rattled in his brain that he actually cannot, say the alphabet?
That sounds like a fantastic segment of Get Off My Lawn. Our weekly segment where Marcus and I take a hot take from the week, mostly involving college football or whatever, and we disagree about it. Marcus, what do you think about Cedric Benson's incident?
Cedric Benson is full of shit, okay? Cedric Benson is hammered drunk, driving, cannot say the alphabet, and got what he had coming.
Get off my lawn, Marcus. Cedric Benson was not drunk this weekend. He's been hit a lot. Did you see that movie with Will Smith? I can't remember the title because I don't give a shit. But it's about football players that have been hit a ton. And I'm sure that in there, if they can't remember math or they're like killing, they're like drowning their family, like they probably don't remember the alphabet either. One time, Marcus, I was pulled over and I was actually just stopped by a cop at a party, and I was under the age, and he was doing a field sobriety test. He went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just do that. He said, Danny, do that. And then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I failed a field sobriety test, and I was sober. Okay, and I haven't even played 8 years in the NFL. Give me 8 years in the NFL. Furthermore, I don't think that Cedric Benson needs to know the alphabet. I think that he's one of the heroes. One of the heroes that proves, hey, you don't need to know the alphabet and you can make millions.
Okay, he also told police he could not count from 1 to 3. From 1 to get to 1, then 2, then 3. Get off my lawn, Danny. The movie was called Concussion. Tell the truth, okay? Tell the truth. He was hammered. And we all know concussions are made up. It's a mainstream media lie. Roger Goodell told me so personally. Okay. I think we know. Like, listen, the reason I know he was drunk is because the science isn't settled on concussions.
Well, get off my lawn, Marcus. What if these doctors, told him to just put some alcohol on it? You've been hit 100 1,000 times. You put a little booze on it. Maybe it's a combo of both. Maybe our differences are not as dramatic as they seem. Maybe Cedric Benson has been beaten into complete mental retardation, and he also was drunk.
Okay. All right. I think we just have a draw and get off my lawn? He is hammered and possibly brain damaged.
Yes, I think that was a draw, but it still begs the question, if Cedric Benson can't count to 3, how does Cedric Benson know how fast Cedric Benson is going?
I think you're making a compelling argument for taking away Cedric Benson's license, and I support that.
If a retarded Cedric Benson is traveling at 60 miles an hour towards his mansion and he can't count or spell and he just finished his 6-pack, how long does it take him to get there? It's a distance and velocity question.
I don't know.
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I think Marcus has been having a little bit of what Cedric Benson's been having.
I got the itis. Rub some booze on it.
Marcus, this brings me to our next segment, and it really means a lot to me because on this show, people that listen to this show, all 200,000,
A lot of people listen to this show.
Everyone that listens to this show, you know that we talk so much shit about Baylor because we hate them a lot. We talk a lot of shit about Lane Kiffin because we hate them. We love to talk shit about any other Longhorn podcast because, like, keep our names out your motherfucking mouth. But sometimes we forget to talk about our ultimate enemy, and that brings me to our new segment, Never Forget.
Never forget.
OU still sucks.
Still sucks.
Marcus, what's on the docket for today?
We got 2 good ones. So we got Baker Mayfield, the stupid quarterback at OU, getting arrested, and then we've also got Joe Mixon not invited to the combine.
Not invited to the combine, and Baker Mayfield. I thought the least of him. And then this came out, and it lowered the standard a little bit more. I'm trying to bring up the direct quotes, but what I think happened, I think he was down in Arkansas. I'm going to assume he was on some pussy train down there. Okay, so Baker Mayfield's down there, and he's getting laid hard. And he gets really drunk, and a cop tries to detain him. He's resisting arrest, and apparently he's covered in food. Marcus, what kind of food do you think he was covered in? Nachos, sushi?
I'm gonna go nachos. And so let's break this down. Okay, so Baker Mayfield running from the police, yelling profanities, covered in nachos. Now, if I know myself, I'm at least, when I'm hammered drunk, I'm shaving a solid 0.2 off of my 40. Right? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm faster drunk. So I want you to think, what kind of Men in Black cop was chasing down this D1 college athlete? Like, how did he get caught? Where's his top line speed? Baker Mayfield, he should spend a little less time in Arkansas, a little more time running the cones. All right, man, you got to get that 40-yard dash down a little bit. Maybe get some endurance. I mean, this is embarrassing for a lot of reasons.
I agree with you. It shows that he's a subpar athlete, doesn't know how to eat his food, and he doesn't set a good example, I think, for a program that has such a high standard and public image. Which brings us to Joe Mixon. So I think everyone remembers Joe Mixon was he was caught on tape calling, I think, he was in like a Wendy's, and a co-ed at Oklahoma walked in with her gay friend. I think Joe Mixon called him a faggot, and then she defended her friend, and then Joe Mixon knocked her out in a pretty ruthless manner. Oklahoma was like, hey, we can't have this, so they suspended him for his redshirt freshman year. And then he came back. And now the NFL Combine, the NFL doesn't want him. So it's kind of crazy, Marcus. I think that if the NFL, a notoriously shitty organization, is looking like the moral, upstanding citizen when in comparison to OU, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Pope hath no fury like Bob Stoops. Okay, he brings the hammer down. There is no forgiveness from that man.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield, he's probably gonna get set like a spring game. You know, he might not get to play the first series of the first game for this. And I mean, he's gonna remember
Might
that.
not be able to play that Crimson Cream game in April.
He's gonna remember this for a long time.
Yeah, which would disappoint him. And this brings me on to a classic hate OU article. Now, this is from 2007, so it's old news for a lot of people, but it's not really old news for Marcus. I knew about this. Marcus didn't know about this. So here's the headline of the article. This is a real article. This was on Fox News. Texas football fan nearly castrated in a bar fight in Oklahoma. What happened was a man wearing a Texas shirt walked into a bar in quote-unquote Sooner country. He was wearing white shorts, and he was trying to pay his tab and leave like a good Texan. And some Sooner fans threw him up onto the table, grabbed him by the balls. This guy realized his balls had been nearly ripped off. And I think this is just what we've come to expect from the state of Oklahoma, ripping our poor fans' nutsacks off. What do you think about it, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, it's a horrifying story. I mean, you're talking like manual castration, like digital castration. Like, I'm actually gonna tear your nuts off for walking into this bar. Yeah, I mean, put it on my tab of reasons that I stay at Oklahoma. They're barbarians, man. They're animals.
They are the defendant, the man who was the Oklahoma guy who was ripping the balls off. His lawyer said this: my client is a little man, and this guy, Thomas, our Texas fan, is 30 to 40 pounds bigger than him. He's bigger, stronger, younger, probably faster, and he aggressively leaned in and touched my client and threatened to beat him up. My guy was defending himself and just took control of the situation, which means he took control of the situation by ripping the guy's balls off, Thomas's balls off. Now, Thomas needed 60 stitches close to the wounds. That's around the nutsack. Here's the thing, Marcus. If you need 60 stitches around your nutsack, like Thomas, I'm sure he's got big balls from what this guy said. But that's your ball sack, okay? That's your whole ball sack. Your balls are exposed at that point. And then it says he could see both of his testicles hanging on the outside of his body. God. He was wearing a pair of white shorts, which made it that much worse.
Jeez, dude.
Is the real crime a man having his balls ripped off or wearing white shorts with a burnt orange shirt, Marcus? Because I got to tell you, fashion faux pas.
I mean, yeah, listen, I don't think anybody looks great in this situation. And I know this segment's called Never Forget, but I'm gonna do everything I can to forget that image. Yeah, let's. Can we move on? Can we get out of the castration event?
No. I'd like to talk about it a bit longer. I'm gonna leave you with this. Here's the quote from the police sergeant. People are passionate about their teams and their universities, and that's a good thing. But when you mix a real passionate sports fan and then a little alcohol in there, sometimes it's not a good mix. So that's what I want to leave everyone with that story.
That's a very measured response to another man actually getting his balls ripped off. So, I mean, very diplomatic. Way to go. Way to go, police force.
It happens.
Yeah.
Stay at Oklahoma. Bad, subpar Mexican food. So this brings me on to my favorite segment, Do We Hate? Marcus, can you let everyone know what Do We Hate is all about?
Pretty simple. We take a topic. A lot of times it's a recruit's Twitter feed. We examine it, we dissect it, and we decide, do we hate this guy?
Yeah. And so today's subject is Justin Watkins. Now, this stallion is the number 1 rated general athlete in the 2018 class. Now, we all know that Tom Herman's initial signing class was ranked 26. Good for everyone else, not good enough for the University of Texas, even though there are some gems in there. But he has had no recruits for the 2018 class. Come this weekend, Justin shows up. He sees the facilities. He talks to Vince Young, a.k.a. a dude that if you spray painted green looks like Shrek. And here we are. Huge win for the Horns.
This is awesome. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
Big deal. So let's dive right in and check out Justin Watkins' Twitter. What are the first things we see, Marcus?
First thing, so I always go straight to the Twitter bio, right? Because it's basically their whole ethos, mission statement, everything. So
yeah,
he leads it off.
About.
He leads off strong. Number 1 athlete class of 2018. 4 stars.
Just a fact.
He's just stating facts. 4 stars. That's what he is. He's number 10 in the ESPN Junior 300 Under Armour All-American. So you're like, okay, number 10, not number 1. Maybe like I'm sensing something here. And then he's just like humbled.
Yes.
Humbled. University of Texas commit, humbled. So it's like his bio is a journey from I'm number 1 to I'm humbled. And I really like to see that in like 2 sentences. I think that speaks volumes.
Absolutely. Now, so when I scroll down a bit, we learn that Watkins is obsessed with the haters. The haters after Watkins. I think the thing is Watkins was committed to Florida State.
Yeah.
And we, in general, unless it's a commit coming to Texas, we don't, or some Cuban food, we don't have fond feelings about that place because it's hot, dumb, and boring. So he's getting a lot of hate. And the first thing it says from Roger Brown to Lamar 05, who's Justin Watkins, if keep doing what you're doing, the haters will keep appearing. I think that's a warning. And then right after that, this guy, Big Del Dog Leon, says, put your hater blockers on. So he's getting some advice here,
And then I think
I
think that's a picture. It's a picture of Sean Paul maybe with sunglasses, like Sean Paul.
I thought it might be just. Yeah, I initially thought it was Justin Watkins, but Marcus let me know that's actually.
I'm pretty sure that's Sean
R&B singer Sean Paul.
I mean, unless Justin Watkins has like
professional
like headshots of him with cornrows and hater blockers on. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah, and then Justin tweets this: "I'm the number 1 athlete for a reason, comma. Ion talk my game 100 for all my haters, like laughing face,
yeah, laughing cry emojis,
laughing crying. What is Ion? Is Ion a typo, or is that something that the kids say?
I think it's like I'm not going to, like I ain't gonna talk my game. I ain't gonna talk my game. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. It's some sort of reverse psychology, but I mean, a little bit crazy. I mean, for saying how humble he is, a little. I mean, it's not incredibly humble. What about after that? We've got Revolution 18. What do you think about this, Marcus?
The Revolution. So yeah, it got some really colorful radio here for you guys. It's Revolution with UT highlighted. So it's like UT 18, Revolution 18. Obviously, Tom Herman's huge investment in graphic design and media is paying off. They're coming up with some great slogans like Revolution 18. So yeah, we've got a pretty strong picture. We're big fans of the airbrushed picture. This one, as far as airbrushed pictures go, he's got a pretty epic one as his profile pic. But this one's pretty light. It's pretty subdued. I think it's got the touch of a professional behind it, but his face is what I really noticed here. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailers for this movie Get Out with Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele's from Key and Peele. This is his horror movie Get Out. It's about a black guy that goes to his white girlfriend's parents' house in the suburbs, and they hypnotize and kidnap him. And there's this scene. It's like, I think it's like the poster of the movie too, and he's paralyzed, and he's just got tears streaming down his face, and he's got like this kind of open mouth and just this like holy shit look on his face. Justin Watkins, I swear to God, has the exact same face in this Committed to the Revolution. He looks honestly really scared about what's coming at him. You see this face a couple more times show up in the Twitter feed, so I think maybe it's just like his resting face. Maybe it's his mean face. I don't know, but yeah, I it gives me some pause. I'm like, what's going on behind those eyes? Is he okay? Is he all right? Like, is somebody kidnapping you? Do you need help? Blink twice if you need help.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's something that I've been thinking about a lot. Has Justin Watkins been kidnapped and drugged? And I think that we don't know the answer. I think we don't know.
We don't know.
Is he even in control of his Twitter feed at this point, or has Jimbo Fisher, out of spite, taken control of it? Has Jimbo Fisher drugged Justin Watkins? And I think it's an important question, and I think it's something that we need to think about as we observe and monitor his Twitter from here on out. I found another photo, and it's him catching a ball, and it says, "My time is coming." And the conclusion that this leads me to, Marcus, is out of the question, do we hate? I think the answer, look, this guy is he's a little arrogant. He looks drugged. He's obsessed with the non-existent haters, so he's paranoid. So all this stuff put together, I think it's a resounding.
I love this guy.
We don't hate this guy. We love him.
I love this guy.
We love him to death.
Did anybody hear us say he is the number one athlete in the class of 2018? I friggin' love this guy.
Love this guy. Love this guy. He can jump high. He can run fast.
Yep.
He can juke.
Yep.
He's like Boobie Miles if Boobie Miles' legs hadn't been broken in half or whatever happens to him in that movie.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he likes football because there's a lot of pictures of him holding one. I'm just going to go ahead and assume he's a character guy. Love this guy. Love him.
He's a character guy. Someone Mac Brown would love.
Mac would have gladly sat in his family's living room for sure.
Exactly. Okay, so Justin Watkins, we do not hate, we love him. So let's move on to some general Texas news, because we always want our fans to know what's going on in the great state of Texas outside of football, because quite frankly, Marcus, I mean, there are other things that happen. So why don't you let us know what's going on? What's going on in Texas?
So a lot of people may know that Austin, Texas has recently been rated as America's most livable city. I'm sure everybody's really excited about that lives in Austin.
Yeah.
Because that means a bunch of cool things happen. A bunch of people that you really don't like that much are going to move there, and a bunch of stupid lifestyle pieces are going to be written about Austin. So here's one, and it's 10 fun things about Austin, Texas, now America's most livable city. Just to remind everybody, if you're looking for a place to live, why don't you just go to Austin? Keep Austin Weird surely takes the national title for strangest business slogan. That she frames it as a negative. The author frames it as a negative. I don't know what's fun about that. She just calls it strange. So that's sad. 6th and 4th Streets have been.
So she doesn't understand the slogan.
She clearly doesn't.
That's what I've gathered.
She, you know what? She probably just moved to Austin. Number 2, 6th and 4th Streets have been party venues since the Civil War. Why would you bring up the Civil War? That's sad. I don't want to think about that. Number 3, Austin cherishes a unique development style, trailer park diners. I think she's throwing shade, dude. I think this. If I didn't know better, I'd say she's throwing shade. Because everybody dines in a trailer park in Austin.
What's her name, Marcus?
Author's name, so you can know where to send her hate mail. Julia Vitullo Martin.
Julia Tullo Martin. Julia, I want to say this to you right now, okay? You fucked with the wrong people.
Not cool.
Justin Watkins is our boy, and we don't hate him. But you're going to come and hate on the ATX. The only thing I hate about on the ATX is listicles about the ATX and people from California that have moved to the ATX. I do hate them.
Number 4 on this list, Austin is funny. Hot take, Julia. Hot take. Number 5, fitness is part of the transportation policy. That sounds to me like, again, I think that's some really, really subtle shade. It's like, in sub-Saharan Africa, they have to walk 4 miles to the nearest fresh water well. So It's kind of like there's a fitness program built into them getting water. It's like, you know what? Fuck you, Julia. Don't give me that shit. Number 6, car-oriented Austin is trying to out low-rise transit-oriented development.
I don't even I don't understand this shit anymore.
It just came out of my mouth, and I literally don't know what I just said. I have no idea what that means.
Here's the thing. I don't want to hear the rest of this list. Julia, you're not welcome in Austin. We don't like you. Get out.
Yep.
Okay? Take your things, and GTFO. Okay? And if you don't like what we're saying about you, come at us swinging. And our team of lawyers will deal with you. You know what she sounds like? She sounds like an Aggie. I'll tell you that much.
Probably.
Sounds like she lives in College Station.
Probably.
So you can fuck off back to College Station with your listicles.
Go to hell.
Yeah, go to hell. What else happened in Texas?
That's it. The only thing that happened in Texas recently is somebody wrote a list about it.
Wrong. Transgender student, a man who was born a woman but identifies as a man, but is not allowed to compete with the boys. Won the Texas State Texas State High School wrestling competition. What do we think about this, Marcus?
This is a tough one. I don't know. I'm not sure where I stand.
You know what else happened in Texas this week, Marcus? There was a meteor, and you could hear the sonic boom. And this is no fluff piece, but I want to ask you a serious question, Marcus. Was that an astrological event, or was it the spirit of our last Bevo?
I think it was Art Briles' dignity just really giving one last shout from the mountaintop.
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of worked.
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
All right, yeah, we'll take it. All right.
I mean, we're gonna make fun of Art Briles. We don't really. I'm not sure if if it really makes sense, but it kind of sounds like we're making fun of Art Briles, which is always okay with me.
Yep, agreed. Let's wrap it up. So, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the Longhorn Podcast. This is Marcus. That was Danny. If you like this podcast, share it with your friends. Put it on Facebook, tweet it, subscribe, download it. Do any and all of those things. We really appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you listening. And tune in next week.
Great, thanks. And if you're the lady that wrote that article, you suck. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
You are listening to the Longhorn Podcast. To the Longhorn
End
Podcast
zone ahead, folks. Touchdown, Longhorns.
with Danny
Who do you think gets laid more, Sam Ellinger or Shaver Show?
and Marcus.
More liberal media lies. I'm a grown man. I eat a lot of steak.
You are listening to the Longhorn Podcast. The Longhorn Podcast.